Mr. Govan has been indicted and is in custody for being involved in the Young Dolph murder. He played the role of the person who solicited.
Yo, on the .tv here. The feds are getting involved in the investigation of Young Dolph, and it appears that Dolph's claimed killer might have some dirt on Yo Gotti. The case of Young Dolph is still being worked on. We do not have the people who committed the crime serving their sentence yet, but we might just see it happen. In this case, the real question that everyone is asking is, how was Yo Gotti involved? Their beef never stopped until the very day that Dolph passed. The previous attempts on Dolph's life have already been tied to Gotti's name in a way. Everyone's waiting to see if Gotti's got something to do with it, or what happened 2 years ago, and if any of the people arrested are willing to snitch on Gotti in order to get out. On November 17th, 2021, two assailants opened fire on the famed Memphis rapper Young Dolph, killing him. At the time of his death, he was at Makita's homemade buttered cookies, and that's when he was ambushed by the assailants. The assailants leaped out of a white Mercedes SUV and shot Young Dolph 22 times, and even though he tried to make it, he was not successful and he died on that horrible day. He was one of the very few rappers who reached staggering distances musically and remained an independent artist throughout the entire time of his career. However, not everyone liked the fact that Dolph tended to his matters alone without any other parties getting involved. One such guy was Yo Gotti. Gotti wanted Dolph to sign to his record label since day one, but he just could not get him to sign. Not even a multi-million-dollar deal could persuade Dolph to change his mind, and that meant trouble between these two. Gotti's monopoly and strong influence to hip-hop scene in Memphis were challenged by the arguably more talented rapper and someone with great potential. The peak of their beef was the night Dolph's SUV got targeted with more than 100 shots. That's when Dolph created the song titled 100 Shots, which boosted his fame outside of Memphis. Even though Gotti wasn't involved in the incident, one of the guys who were involved was Black Youngsta, one of Gotti's signed artists. But with some help from good lawyers, he was able to find his way out of the situation. Similar to the Black Youngsta incident from a few years back, all fingers were pointing at Yo Gotti again, and everyone knew he had a motive to do it, especially under the certain circumstances involved. Things between the two then went quiet for a few months while police were figuring out the details of the situation, but then finally the first arrest came. One of the three men who were suspects of being involved in the crime was a 23-year-old man named Justin Johnson, also known as Straight Drop. Straight Drop is a rapper and he already had a history of criminal charges. Additionally, the police already knew that he had ties to a criminal organization, specifically the True Love Mafia. He was a menace and they knew very well that he was somehow involved. Then came the arrest of Cornelius Smith, who hijacked the car that was used in Dolph's murder. Next was Shondell Barnett, who was an accomplice that was in fact connected to this hit. Back in 2017, he could be seen in a video with Black Youngsta. However, there are yet another two guys that have been arrested, and they are the last two in line who have been tied to the Dolph hit. Their names are Hernandez Govan and Jamarcus Johnson. After the police caught Hernandez, the feds began to get more and more involved, and the district attorney established a case of a so-called solicited murder, which means someone paid for the hit. In other words, Hernandez was killed because someone paid for it, according to what Steve Mulroy told the Reg News channel.
Mr. Govan has been indicted and is in custody for being involved in the Young Dolph murder. He played the role of the person who solicited the murder.
Jamarcus was arrested because they believed he was helping Straight Drop after the arrest took place. The fact that someone was hiring people to get other people knocked off reached the federal authorities. Serious criminal activity was taking place, and it was about time for someone to step in and take care of this mess. Even though a lot of people have already been talking for a while, saying that feds will come to Memphis, now it really seems like it's bound to happen. Ricos are coming, so they had to get ready. Now, is it really true that Govan was the one behind the hit on Young Dolph? We can't say for sure. Perhaps he was only paying Straight Drop and others, but was it really his money? Some people believe that money came in through none other than Big Juke. There's a lot of reasons out there to believe that they are extremely involved in this case. There are countless photos of Govan and Juke hanging out together. It is also a known fact that Big Juke is on really good terms with the leader of True Mafia, CEO TZ. It's rather obvious that Gotti and Big Juke had something against Young Dolph, unlike Hernandez, which is really why fans and a lot of people in Memphis believe Hernandez was behind it. The feds stepping in this case, it's all hands on deck. Everyone knows when the feds get involved, there's no getting by without being punished. The next question is, are the affiliates involved going to keep their mouths shut when the RICO is placed in act? It will be the same thing as the YSL RICO. Everyone will be arrested and acquitted to testify in front of a judge. Before you know it, plea offers will be coming in and defendants will be folding like books. And we might just find out how Yo Gotti and his brother are involved. And if they are, people will definitely wonder how much money they put in on Dolph's head. And fans are definitely seeming to like the fact that the feds are stepping in. They do believe this will bring it a step closer to who put the hit on Dolph. But really, what's your guys' take on the case? There are multiple different outcomes on this case, and it'll be really interesting what happens in the future. Other than that, hope everyone enjoyed this episode. Like, comment, and subscribe to stay up to date. Thank you.